Hello, my name is Drew Pearson. I'm Territory Sales Rep with Dow Seeds in Southwestern Ontario. Today I'd like to discuss with you some key points that need to be done to receive your seed. It's very basic stuff, but stuff you should consider while the seeding season is upon us. The first thing you want to make sure you do is you have a good, clean storage facilities, ultimately indoors and large enough for the amount of seed you're going to have. When you receive your seed, most seed comes in either skids or super boxes or pro boxes, and in about 4 feet by 5 feet pallets like you can see on this one here. There's about 40 bags on a skid, so you can do some quick math. You can figure out how many bags you have coming, times it by roughly 12 square feet, times by the number of skids you're going to get, and you can figure out how much space you're going to need. You also can come in, these are like pro boxes like I mentioned right here. They're about the same, maybe a little bit longer, more like 5 feet by 3 feet. So you can do some quick math on your soybeans on how much space you'll need if you're getting your product in a super box. Once you receive the seed, you got to make sure you have enough space for it. You want to make sure you can maneuver with your forklift or whatever your skid steer you may have. Or your forks on your tractor, that you won't be bumping into anything else. So once you receive the seed, make sure you have the maneuverable space that you need and to be safe, and make sure that there's no incidences where you're poking bags or knocking anything over. Second thing you want to think about is once you know how much space you're going to need, you want to make sure that the space is clean. So you want to make sure there's no debris on the floor or anything that's going to affect either the skid when it goes in the ground or the forklift when you're maneuvering throughout your facilities. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, is take a broom and sweep your floor. You can see here there's a bit of dirt. Just sweep it away. Make sure that your space is nice and clean like that, where you can lay your skid down, it'll be flat and it'll be level, and also, like I mentioned, the forklift won't have any issues with maneuvering throughout your storage area. Another thing a lot of people don't think about is your planting order, and one thing you can think about that is a little bit of preparation up front will save a lot of time later on. If you put the seed you want to plant first at the back of your pile, you're going to have to pull out all your seed to get to that stuff you need. So as you're receiving your seed from your seed dealer, think about what field you're going to plant first and what varieties are going to go in that field. And remember that it's very specific to right varieties in the right field. So if I were you, I wouldn't just put it all into the warehouse at once. Stop, unload it, look at it, and place it in as the first stuff you're going to plant will be the last stuff into your warehouse. And one other thing you want to look at is before you get the seed is your handling equipment, and in a lot of cases it's mainly just your forklift. What you want to make sure is your forklift is in running order, you have enough propane or fuel in your forklifts or battery power, your chains, your linkages are all working well and it's oiled and greased, and make sure that you have the proper equipment to receive the seed, so when your seed dealer does come to your farm, you have a way to unload it. You also want to make sure that if you're using something like an auger or a belt conveyor to put it into a tender unit, that your augers or your belts are into working order as well. Last thing you want to do is be down for an hour or two in season when you should be planting because your handling equipment isn't prepared. And the final thing I want to talk to you about when receiving your seed for seed planting would be safety. As everyone knows, there's these boxes will weigh over a ton, and a skid weighs also over a ton. So there's a lot of weight on there. If you're handling them properly or lifting them too high, they could fall off, especially if you have forks, or open up and could fall onto you or tip over. And one thing I would really recommend is not stacking the seed totes or skids over too high, especially skids. I'd actually recommend skids at 1 and seed super boxes at 2. And also, because you're handling treated seed, it might not be a bad idea to wear gloves and maybe even long sleeves when you're handling it in case the bag's open, or especially when you're dumping it into your planter. Hopefully this helps you prepare for your planting season. Have a great season and good luck.